Hey there, perfectionists. My name's Delampa, but you already knew that because you're so darn perfect. So yeah, it's Wednesday. Sorry about that. I normally post on Monday, but unfortunately there were a few things that prevented me from getting a video out. The main thing was that pretty much all the review codes I've gotten recently have all come relatively close to the review date, like the embargo date. So I thought I'd take on one such game with a first look video instead of a review this week. The giveaway's still the same. If you're interested in the game, feel free to check out the description below for your chance to win Spaceland on Steam. We do this every week, usually on Monday. Yeah. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. Do you like adorable takes on XCOM? You do? Well, this one might be for you. Spaceland by Tortuga team aims to give you that sweet turn-based strategy you've come to know from the makers of Braveland Heroes? Yeah, I had to look that one up. I'm not really familiar with their work, but it definitely looks like they're no strangers to turn-based combat, which is good. This title sports a very cartoony 3D art style that I must say I really like, save for the colors they chose. The first part of the game is very blue heavy. It's such a weird thing to even note, but here I am noting it. Being the beginning part of the game, the enemies are pretty redundant. I mean, I assume there are different types later on, but who knows. The main character design though, mwah, Delampa likes. I can't say what it is about cute XCOM that makes me so happy. There is a lot of blue, like I mentioned, though. I don't know. I mean, it's like, I guess the main characters are good guys, but still, it kind of makes the characters involved seem a little less distinct. I feel like the characters could have used more unique armor to help separate them from other playable characters. The characters themselves, though, like I said before, I really do like their overall design. I mean, you have all the notable strategy game characters here. You have the plucky protagonist, the serious tank guy, the southern guy whose only personality trait is that he has a hat, and of course, the girl. But yeah, all of them look pretty cool, though they're not very expressive. The only thing that artistically bothers me may be the means through which they deliver dialogue. It's just character stills with text. And these cartoons don't necessarily, like, they don't reflect the 3D models all that well. I don't know. Why am I complaining about this? The only reason it bothers me is because from a graphical standpoint, I don't see why this isn't a mobile game. That's not really a knock. I love mobile games, at least if they're by Kairosoft, but yeah, I dig them. I think this game would do really well on iPads and such. Once again, not a knock. I really do enjoy this. Have you played a turn-based strategy game before? I mean, why do I keep asking you rhetorical questions? I don't freaking know. The game's combat is pretty standard. I'm looking for something I haven't seen before, and I mean, yeah, there doesn't really seem to be a lot new here, which is pretty unfortunate. Maybe they were afraid to take a real chance on this one? I don't know. The game gives you a certain number of characters for a mission, some of which are able to be changed out for another character. Each character has certain abilities that are tied to their type of, gunner persona. Each character is given a certain number of action points. You can use these action points in order to move, shoot, or perform other actions. On top of that, your characters all have certain amounts of ammo depending on their class. This is the aspect that kind of annoys me. Sometimes it felt like, like a little too much to manage, especially for someone who just came into the game. Like, the only thing that would have been worse is if they'd given me a hunger stat. That is a great way to get me to stop caring about a title. This is why I can never really get into survival games, but that's neither here nor there. But yes, so far this one is pretty straightforward as far as managing your ammo, taking your turns, your actions, your movement, all that good stuff. I think that this has its own merits as a pretty vanilla game, within the genre. I mean, the name of the game is literally Spaceland. I don't know how you can get more vanilla than a sci-fi game named Spaceland. But I digress. You take on each level from a map. There are two difficulties from the start, easy and normal. Now, I played on normal, which may or may not have been a mistake. It seems that the enemies, at least very early on, do a little too much damage. That's not like typical for like anything. You'll have enemies on level 3 or so that will take almost all of your character's health in one turn. I guess my disdain comes from, one annoying factor. I have one primary pet peeve when it comes to game tutorials, and that's show me, don't tell me. No one likes blocks of text when it comes to tutorials. It feels especially weird in this type of game because there are quite a few mechanics within the title. Between the general gameplay and crafting, etc., there's quite a bit to learn here, and it just feels like the tutorial system for teaching newer players could use some work. Yeah, this game is pretty basic, but it's still fun basic. Otherwise, I don't think I would have played it as far into it as I did. I think the gameplay has potential, but the micromanaging takes a little time to get used to if you aren't a veteran of strategy games. There is a ton of replayability in this title as the game rewards you with chips for crafting. The more you explore the levels and do better within them, the more chips you get. Anyway, if you're looking for a new strategy game to try, you might want to take this one under your belt. That's not the right turn of phrase. What I will say is there are better games for newer players to tangle with, but if you're super used to these types of games, then this might be right up your alley. With that said, keep strategizing and stay perfect.